Hey y'all, trying to get this set up together and all that kind of stuff. Gave me a little problems just then, but I'm here. Hey y'all over here. Hey y'all. Okay, I think I got it. Hey sis. Can y'all hear me? Hey, somebody over here. Hey, y'all can hear me? Now we could. All right. I set up my live stream a little differently yesterday. I tried because it kind of it did its own thing. So I had to kind of set it up how I had to just try another way. But we can hear me, we cooking then. We cooking. Thank y'all so much for coming. Hey over here, whoever you are. Drop a comment. Cause let me know you up in here. I ain't gonna bite you. Thank you for coming. Thank you. Thank y'all. I can't see nothing. Okay. Let's see. Oh no. Okay. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Again, thank y'all so much for coming. You come along at a later date. I appreciate you too. Thank y'all so very much. All right. Before we even get started, I need y'all to hear me clearly. Disability does not mean inability, and pity can be just as damaging as neglect. Like any other like any other Keena's Corner episode, this is not me speaking from theory. This is not me speaking from textbooks. This is me speaking from real life. I'm not a doctor. I'm speaking from 30 years of lived experience. And some of what I'm about to say may make some people uncomfortable, but growth usually does. A diagnosis explains challenges. A diagnosis explains challenges, but it does not remove accountability. Love without structure is not love, it's neglect dressed up as sympathy. Now, let's talk about it. Hey y'all. Welcome to Keena's Corner. I'm your girl Keena, and I thank you sincerely for being here in my corner. Here on Keena's Corner, I speak facts, opinions, truths, vulnerabilities, and need to knows. If you're here on my YouTube or on my Facebook, if you would for me, please like the video, comment on the video, share the video. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit the bell notification. So when I do post anything or go live, you won't miss it. You'll get the notification, right? So please do that for your girl. Um, of course, just hit the thumbs up, interact with my content. When you do so, that's how Facebook and YouTube and all the platforms are going to know to kind of push your girl further up the algorithm as I've been doing. So, thank y'all so much for coming. Thank y'all for rocking it out, for hanging with your girl. I hope this episode, something in it you could use, or you hear something that may touch you, or something that you may need, especially if you've ever dealt with something like this. Um, I do want to say as well, before I really jump into the episode, only you know, if you're listening to me, only you know the severity of your loved ones, whoever it may be, whether it's a child or a cousin or just a family member. Only you know the severity of their illness or disorder or whatever they may be dealing with. So please don't take offense to anything I say. I'm not saying anything I say with cruelty tonight. It's with actual, genuine love, care, advice. Best I can give it from what I've seen and observed over the last 32, almost 33 years of my life. Um, I, the main thing I'm talking about on this particular episode is labeling children, right? Labeling children. This episode is not to discourage anybody. If you may have an autistic or family member with any certain type of disorder, it's not to discourage. I'm not here to scold. I can't correct. I'm not diagnosing. I don't do anything, do any of that. I'm not here to do that part. So make sure you just listen, with your heart. And again, I'm not speaking from any cruelty, just speaking on things that I've observed over the last almost 33 years of my life. So we're gonna hop into this episode. So I'm gonna give y'all some context. I do have a younger brother who's autistic. A lot of y'all do not know that. People who know me personally, of course, they do know that, but excuse me, my younger brother is autistic. He was diagnosed, of course, at an early age, amongst other things, but later on in life. I've seen the delayed speaking, I've seen the delayed potty training, bedwetting at a late age. I've seen even, the hand flapping. And sometimes my brother actually still does that. And in other ways too. So I grew up as the only girl, and there's three boys. I grew up as the only girl. So naturally, I was the one helping, keep an eye on my brother, my little brother, while my parents had to work, or if we got out of school or something and they were still at work. Usually, quite naturally, I'm the one that was kind of there to help out and to keep my eyes on him and, kind of babysit him and make sure he was fine. Because, of course, I had brothers, they weren't about to do nothing like that. I've always been one person. I'll say I've always been one person that my little brother has truly listened to and respected. The respect matters, of course, and even a little fear matters when you have children or even someone with a disorder, right? Even a little fear matters because when somebody knows there are boundaries, the behavior will change. And I don't mean fear like abuse. I don't mean that. I do not mean fear like abuse. I mean fear of consequences, not fear of harm, right? Now I'm gonna stop right here and I'm gonna say this plainly, and I'm gonna keep saying it throughout this episode. If you have a child or a family member who's autistic, please hear me real clear. Please hear me real clear. Get them help as soon as possible. You cannot afford to wait. One more time. If you have a family member or a child, someone in your family who's autistic, get them help as soon as possible. Use your resources, and you have to correct their behaviors early. Hope you heard that. Correct their behaviors early in life when they're children, when they're babies, when they're toddlers. Start correcting their behavior because what you allow early, you're going to have to manage it later. And take it from me, I promise you it gets worse. It gets worse. And that leads me straight into something in this episode that I'm going to talk about again, the labeling. So, how I got on this specific topic, of course, everybody now is on social media. People that listen to me, y'all are grown. You have seen the videos of the young man. I call him a young man. I think he's 14 years old. So the teenager. You've seen the videos of the teenager who's been um in the videos and pretty much fighting his mom, right? Everybody's seen those. So I kept seeing them as well, and I actually plan to speak about this later. But everybody kept a couple of people asking me to speak about it. Um, and that's why I'm here. Now, um, the 14-year-old, he's autistic in the video. And again, I told you I have a brother. My little brother is autistic as well. What I'm really here to talk about specifically though is labeling. Labeling throughout this episode. Because again, disability is not the same as inability. Let's talk about labeling. Usually, as soon as people hear the word autism or some other form of disorder or any disability, they instantly feel sad or pity for that person. Y'all know I'm not lying. And sometimes, even without realizing it, they start treating them like a baby. Stop me when I'm wrong. But hear me one more time. Disability does not mean inability. Treat them like they are human because they are. Give them structure. They need it. Let them be responsible for things. Give them chores to do. Give them responsibilities. Give them tasks. Give them chores and expectations. Establish boundaries. Yes, boundaries are important. You need to establish boundaries with your family member, whoever it is, young, early on. Let them know what is and what's not acceptable, but please hear this part. You do not cripple them. You do not cripple them. Please hear that part. Low expectations become self fulfilling prophecies, period. Because a lot of autistic children are fully capable of performing like any other person, just in their own way. Period. So y'all, my little brother who has autism will be 30 this year. And a good portion of my brother's life, many people have coddled him. Many people. I'm talking about family, strangers, teachers, staff at facilities he's been in, you name it. A lot of his life he hasn't had to really be responsible. People have said he don't know what he's doing. He's autistic. Oh, he ain't doing nothing. He don't know no better. He's autistic. And I'm telling you right now, that's the part that's got to stop expeditiously. Not now, right now. It's got to stop because unless somebody is mentally incapacitated, they understand. They know exactly what they're doing. And that's the part I really want you to hear. Unless somebody is mentally incapacitated, they understand exactly what the hell they are doing. Listen carefully to me. Now, autism, if you know anything about it, cool. If you don't, that's fine too. Autism can include something you hear about called meltdowns, right? It can include meltdowns, but there is a difference between a meltdown and a tantrum. Mm, there's a difference. A meltdown that you hear about with autism usually come from something called sensory overload. And for people with autism, it could be like a change in the routine. And I've seen those before when they are used to a routine. If something changes in their routine, can have a meltdown. I've seen that. Maybe loud noises can cause a meltdown. Them being overwhelmed can cause a meltdown, right? A meltdown usually lasts longer, and they are often uncontrolled. Like so, when they happen, they can't control them, and they will last longer, right? Y'all catch that little lesson right there. But a tantrum is temporary, right? Again, so meltdowns are common with autism, right? Meltdowns usually come from sensory overload for could be for when the routines change, when maybe a loud noise triggered it, or just being overwhelmed. But the meltdowns are often uncontrolled, right? And they last longer. But a tantrum is temporary, right? A tantrum is temporary. A tantrum usually happens when a child cannot get their way. Holla if you hear me. And the quickest way to tell the difference is this: tantrum stop when the audience changes. Mm. So ask yourself the question. If you have a family member with autism, ask yourself a question. Are they truly unaware and having a meltdown, or are they simply not getting their way? That part matters. It matters. So let me tell y'all a story. I remember when I was about 19 years old, my younger brother, my autistic brother was in high school at the time. My mom called me. She was at work, and I think I had gotten out of class for the day. So she called me and she told me that the school had called me to go to school and check on my brother because he was up there cutting up, cutting up. So y'all, I went to the school. When I got there, I heard my little brother at the top of the hall. I'm talking about down the hall at the top. Before I could ever walk down the hall to get to his classroom, I heard him at the top of the hall, y'all, when I got there. I mean, he was screaming. He was throwing chairs. He was tearing the classroom up, y'all. When I finally made it to the door, he did not know I was there. He didn't see me, y'all. He was cutting up so bad, he had no idea. None the wiser that I was standing at the door looking at him the entire time. When I finally made it to his classroom, I literally meant screaming, throwing chairs. He was tearing up furniture, tearing up classroom. He had everybody in there frightened. He didn't know I was standing there, y'all. So I stood there for a while and I just stood and observed him. I just stood and looked at him. All of the teachers were standing, hold up in the corner. And I mean, I understood at that time that there's only so much that teachers can do, but to a person with autism, y'all, the teachers being gathered up in the corner, to him, that looked like fear. He thought that they were scared of him, right? And when they know you're scared, they will run all over you. They will run all over you. But here is the kicker. This is the part that I will never forget. As soon as he turned around and saw me, he stopped screaming. He stopped kicking. He stopped tearing up the classroom. He stopped throwing chairs. He went to pick up a chair and he went to sit down. One of the chairs that he knocked over, he went and picked up a chair and he sat down. So I'm telling you, that was not a meltdown. There was a tantrum. That was control. And I'm not saying that he has never had meltdowns that's associated with autism. I am saying that that was not one. I've seen my little brother sit with me for 12 hours at a time, y'all, and be completely fine. But the moment he knew his big sister was gone, he acted out. Now, you tell me if that ain't control or not. Not getting their way. You tell me if that was control or not. You tell me. Tell me. Period. Period. Now, outsiders and extended family, they really don't understand what you go through. Again, outsiders and extended family, they really don't understand just what you go through. They don't understand is because they aren't the ones doing the day-to-day work. It's easy to say it's all right when you're not the person dealing with the consequences. And that's what you're gonna hear all the time. It's all right. It's easy to say all right when you're not dealing with what we are. You're not dealing with these people are every day. Support without structure quality becomes limitation. Let me be very clear too. I am not saying for any parents that have a child with some type of disorder, whether it's autism, what have you, whatever it may be. But if you have or know someone with autism, I am not telling you to beat your child. Yeah, I don't even believe in that. I believe in talking, steering, guiding, doing those things first. And then if the behavior ain't corrected for me, then I take things away I know that they like, and that usually gonna work. I'm not telling you to beat your child. Lord knows I'm not, y'all. I'm not, but I'm telling you to be firm, no matter if they have autism or not. And you have to start early when they are children. I am telling you to be firm. Firm is not mean, firm is loving. Period. Period. Again, that respect matters along with fear, and not fear of harm again, but fear of consequences is what I'm saying. Because the behaviors that you allow will continue, and I promise you they do. They only get worse. They get worse. So, y'all that's looking at me, the ones that listen on the podcast platforms, of course, you won't be looking at me. You'll just be listening audio wise. But y'all that's been here, if you've been here over the last month, you have noticed that I've been wearing a splint on my finger and I still have it on, right? I still have the splint on. Do y'all know where it comes from? You want to know where it comes from? Situations I've had to deal with my little brother, right? My family. This is something too. So the videos you've been seeing about the 14-year-old who's been assaulting his mom, guess what? We just haven't broadcasted it, but we are going through the same things. That's why I have this split on my finger. I have a broken finger from situations I'm dealing with or we're dealing with my brother. It comes from real life, right? Came with a broken finger for me. We've had to call law enforcement several times, the place that I work. We've had to call them several times. We had to call ambulance several times. So I'm telling you, you must correct the behavior early on. What you do not correct, then when they're young, you will have to manage later. It does not matter if they have autism. Do not label your children. Just because they have autism, and my people are the worst at coddling and crippling people. Oh, he don't know no better. He autistic. Oh, he don't know no better. He's special. Yes, the fuck they do. They do understand. They just because they have autism does not mean they don't have the capacity or capability of understanding what's right and what's wrong. They do. So don't label your child. You have to correct them while they're young. Period. Period. Disability does not mean inability. Disability does not mean inability. Just because they have some type of disability does not mean that they are incapable of doing things, of performing tasks, of listening, right? Absolutely right. When you never expect anything from a child, you're going to teach them that they are not capable, whether you intend to or not. That's what you're teaching them. I hope that part stick for somebody. Mm-mm-mm. And yes, yes, I do believe it must be hard. It must be hard for somebody to be nonverbal and for them to struggle with expression. We wonder about that all the time. My mom more than anybody, but we wonder about it all the time. We wonder, man, it's just sad because sometimes we don't know what he feel. I mean, he can talk, but he can't express exactly what it is that he feels all the time. And we always, well, you just never know what he really feels and how he want to get out. I can't even imagine that, y'all. But that still does not excuse bad behavior. At the end of the day, it does not. Because just like any other child, Children with autism are going to test boundaries. They are going to test boundaries. They want to see what they can get away with and who they can get away with around, right? They are going to try. Pity can be just as damaging as neglect. Offer them a hand, but you don't have to hold their hand. Mm, I like that. Offer them a hand, but you don't have to hold it. Don't hold their hand. Now, on this episode, like I said, we've been talking about labeling and how labeling children actually, I believe it harms more than it helps. So let's just remove autism from the picture because this happens every day in households, every single day. Y'all ever hear parents say stuff like, he or she got anger issues? He or she got this going on, but yeah, but I mean, he needs some anger management. He got anger issues. Y'all ever hear parents say that about little children? I'm gonna stop you right there. If you've ever said it, first and foremost, you have labeled your child with something that might bite them in the long run. Label them with something that might not even really apply to them. Because when your child start using that excuse for every little thing and as an excuse to get away with their behavior, you're gonna regret that you ever said it. Because now that's something that you might actually have to discipline. Don't label your children because they hear you. They hear you loud and clear making excuses for their behavior. Point blank, period. Period. And then I want to say this, since we on this labeling thing in kids, and this is about parenting, period. I'm I'm young, but I believe in certain things when it comes to these kids. Of course, again, labeling and putting these labels on them, and they got anger issues and things like that. I don't feel like you should defend your child in front of authority. I feel like if my child was right, I still wouldn't take that opportunity. If it's like his teacher, I still wouldn't take that opportunity to do that or to express that in front of him. Because when you do that, I think you're teaching your child that right or wrong, it don't matter. Because mama gonna turn up and act a fool for me anytime anyway. That's what I feel. And this is precisely why teachers are scared to do their jobs. Let's talk about it. Because they know parents gonna come to the school defending kids who they know are wrong as hell. If your child doing the same shit at home and don't respect you, baby, what the fuck you think they doing at school? I'm just saying. So even here, labeling, you constantly rescue and can come become crippling. You overprotecting become can become crippling. You coddling your child can become crippling. Overprotection and not giving them responsibility can turn into low expectations. Low expectations. That was good. Overprotection and not giving them responsibility can turn into low expectations. They've never been expected to do anything. If you go back to autism, if you never give them any tasks to do, if you don't ask anything of them, they are not expected to do anything and they're not going to. But if it's a disability, disability does not mean inability, that they cannot, right? It does not. Mm-mm-mm. So, when it comes to autism and labeling children, we got to work on it. I mean, every situation is different. And I'm not saying that it's easy and it's a walk in the park. It's absolutely not, y'all. My family, my family currently, we are going through hell and high water. And salute to my mama because she handling it best she can. I'll say that. But we when I say law enforcement, ambulances and attorneys and it's just different things, y'all. We just again we ours is not broadcasted, but it is very serious and everybody's situation is different. And again, you've seen the videos with the 14-year-old there who's been attacking his mom. Um Again, we have to do the same things. We have to do the same things. If you watch me for the last month, and I'm not wearing this splint on my finger just to wear it for decoration. I'm wearing it because we have real life issues this way. That's why I'm telling you, if you're listening to me, you have got to, your family member, go ahead and get them some help. Go ahead and get them some help. It's easier and better to get help while they're younger. You will need it. You will need the help and the resources. Also, it is better to go ahead and start setting boundaries and letting them know what's right and what's wrong. They can understand you. I just get so tired of he autistic, he don't know what he doing. You fuck that. Yes, they do. They do understand. But your job is to correct them while they're younger. Because if you don't, I promise you, they only get worse. When they're younger, of course, they're not that strong. They only get older and they get stronger. And most of the time, and they're getting stronger physically. So imagine you having to wrestle with, you know, imagine you having to wrestle with them every other day, every other week. That ain't for the weak. Period. Period. So again, every situation is different. I don't know what you're going through, and it's not easy, y'all. It's not easy, but I do honestly think if you manage them earlier on in life, and if you set boundaries, and if you be firm, I do think it'll make things better. I really do. Again, not telling you to be mean, but to be firm. Again, I have always been one person that my brother has looked up to, and he has respected for the most part. Um, He's listened to me, but I've always been firm with him. And then sometimes people probably actually think I'm being mean, but I'm like, no, you just don't understand. I've had this relationship with him since I've been in this world, and I got it. I know what I'm doing for because he listens to me. And the attitude does change sometimes when I'm around. I've seen him act like he want to cut up, but then he sees me and everything changes. So I'm gonna keep my little firmness that I have going. And parents, if you have children with autism or anything, start working on it right now. Start working on it, start being firm, start setting them boundaries and letting them know what they can and cannot do, what they can and cannot get away with. Because everybody just saying they don't know what they're doing. Yes, they do. I'm telling you, for the most part, yes, they do. They do understand. This episode, of course, definitely not about me being harsh. I'm not that type of person. I wouldn't do that to you, but I am speaking from real life experience. And again, the mom in the video with she had the skillet in her hand. We hadn't picked up any weapons or nothing like that because we ain't trying to do all that. We hadn't done any of that. But again, this has been very serious. I have been injured, right? I have been injured because we're dealing with the same things, right? So again, it's not about being harsh, it's about preparing your children, especially somebody with autism or a disability for the real world. Again, disability is not the same as inability. And you labeling children, whether it's autism, anger, or that's just how they are, that can do more harm to them than good. And most of the time, that's exactly what it's going to do. Again, a diagnosis can explain challenges, but it does not automatically remove accountability. Point blank, period. Period. Our children do deserve compassion, but they also deserve structure. They deserve expectations, right? Give them structures. Give them something to look forward to. Give them something to do. If we want better outcomes, we got to do better early. Period. 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 I'm done, y'all. That's my spiel. But seriously, like again, so I'm done, y'all. But um, of course, like I said, if some of y'all just got in here and I'm done, but we still talking. Everybody has seen a video of the teenager assaulting his mom. Everybody's seen it, right? And I actually had another topic planned for tonight, but I've gotten asked a couple of times to speak on this episode. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna just go ahead and do it. Because again, y'all, I do have an autistic brother who's 3 years younger than me, and I've of course dealt with this all my life. And our situation, we just don't broadcast it, but we are actually going through a lot when it deals with my brother. And we, of course, we love him to death. He's got a loving family, and we have fun and stuff like that. But we are dealing with a lot. It's just not broadcasted. But I'm telling you from experience that a lot of times you need to make I, just because they're autism, just because they're this, just because they're that, you do not have to have this over pity, right? Because a lot of times they are capable, like we are. They are capable of doing things just in their own way. And of course, again, y'all know we always like, oh, leave him alone, he good, or leave him alone. They don't know what they doing. Yes, the fuck they do. I'm sorry. Yes, they do. They do. They know what they're doing. Again, you only know the severity of what your family member is dealing with, right? I don't. So, you take what applies to you. But 9 times out of 10, they are fully capable of understanding you and understanding instruction and understanding what we can do and what we can't do. They do understand. They do understand. I've seen meltdowns with my little brother, and I've also seen tantrums. I've seen right now, currently, he's about to be 30. I've seen him manipulate. I've seen him control a room. I've seen him gain attention. I've seen him maintain control. Because people are gonna tell you, like the little boy in the video, he don't know what he's doing. People gonna tell you that. I've seen my brother control himself completely. Because if And say, for instance, he tearing up the house. He throwing chairs or he doing whatever he want to do. If one particular person can walk in that room and then he just suddenly sits down, is that a meltdown or is that a tantrum? Is that trying to gain control? Is that manipulating? What is it? Okay then. Don't worry, I'll wait. That's all I'm saying on this episode, y'all. Thank y'all for coming. This thing say trying to reconnect. Ugh. Thank y'all for coming, man. I'm about to get off anyway. Man, this heat down here is cooking me. I'm hot. Let's get off here. Y'all, I'm about to go. Thank y'all so much for coming, though. This is Keena's Corner, where we heal, where we grow, and tell the truth, even when it hurts. If this episode bless you, please just don't listen. Tap in with your girl one time. Y'all drop a review on Apple Podcasts to my iPhone users. It helps more people hear this healing. Anybody listening on Good Pods, please recommend the episodes and make sure you like them. To any parents or any family who have someone who's autistic or family with a family member with some type of disorder in your family, just know that you definitely are not alone. I'm going through it. Our family is going through it right now. We do send out sincere prayers, but again, I'm gonna tell you right now, just start early, give them set boundaries early, and be firm early because they know what they're doing. 9 times out of ten, they know what they're doing. 9 times out of ten, again, I'm not a doctor, not a psychiatrist, I'm not a psychologist, but I speak on just about every episode I have of Keena's Corner based off of lived experience, um, or things I've gone through, pretty much. Again, I've gone through this, so you don't be walking around here with broken fingers and things. And I found out that I'm over 30, so me healing takes a little longer. Me takes a little longer. I took this off. Every time I hit it, it's still hurting, so that's why I have this on. But you don't want to be walking around here with broken fingers and you having to defend yourself against one of your family members because you didn't stop their behavior earlier because you felt sorry for them instead of correcting their behavior. You don't want to do that. So get help as soon as you can. Give them structure, give them compassion, but they need structure. They need expectation. So, all right, y'all. Until next time, stay real, be authentic, be you, be honest, stay balanced. God ain't using the perfect ones, He wants the real ones. I thank y'all so much for tuning in to season 12, episode 3 of Keena's Corner. This is episode 113 in total. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I enjoyed delivering the message. I thank you for being here, and I thank you sincerely for being here in my corner. I love you so very much. I'll talk to y'all next week. I'm out, signing out. See y'all later. Mwah, mwah. Bye.